Before we get to today's show, I wanted to share a quick reminder that being financially organized is one of the biggest factors in building wealth. Want to be a millionaire? It's not going to happen if you're not organized with your money. So, how can you get organized? Well, our favorite app is Empower. It's free, allows you to connect your banks and brokers, and it gives you daily income and expense updates. Ready to try it out? You can sign up at thecollegeinvestor.com/empowermoney. Hey there, welcome to the College Investor Audio Show. So glad you're hanging out with us today. Hope your day's been awesome so far. So today's topic, Education Department asks court to toss final lawsuit blocking Save Plan shutdown. Before we get to that, because I know a lot of people are kind of twiddling their thumbs on picking a new repayment plan and all that stuff, we're going to talk about it. But anytime you want to dive deeper on a topic, just go to thecollegeinvestor.com. You can find the article there, dive into the resources, the links, and everything. You can also ask us questions, get to know us, comment, all the things. Just type in The College Investor on social media. We're everywhere you are, pretty much. All right, here we go. Diving in now. The Justice Department told a federal judge on July 14th that the last active lawsuit trying to stop the Save Plan shutdown should absolutely be dismissed. They argue that the borrowers are suing over a potential tax bomb they ignored by not taking action in 2025, miscalculated payments, forgiveness timelines that wouldn't have made a difference due to the OBBBA, and that the rest of the case amounts to $1,320 the government has already promised to refund if it loses. You can read the entire 58-page filing inside the article if you want. It is riveting. It opposes the borrower's request for a preliminary injunction, asks the court to dismiss the case. Here's why it matters. The lawsuit is the only remaining legal effort standing between roughly 7 million Save borrowers and forced repayment plan switches, which when you run the numbers is really no big deal. You can still qualify for $0 payments. But the Department of Education began sending 90-day notices on July 1st, and the earliest a borrower can be required to move to a new plan is September 29th. Don't wait, just do it. The current Save timeline estimates that all borrowers will receive a notice by March of 27. If the injunction is denied, the transition will proceed. It's very important to note, do not miss this. This lawsuit is not asking for the Save Plan to be restored, but rather that repay, REPAYE, to be restored, as well as any forgiveness due under repay to be processed between now and July 1st of 28. This is not to save the Save Plan. Why is that so important to drive that home? If you have been waiting for the decision of this court because you think the Save Plan is going to be restored, you're waiting for nothing, and you're going to end up in default, and your wages will be garnished. Please stop waiting and pick a new plan. If you want to find out more about this, dive into all of the articles and the dozens upon dozens of podcasts we have covered on this very topic. They're all there at thecollegeinvestor.com. Okay. Here's what the government is arguing. The filing's sharpest attack targets the two lead plaintiffs, who say switching plans in 26 will make for their eventual loan forgiveness taxable because the federal tax exemption on forgiven student loan debt expired at the end of 2025. The government calls that harm self-inflicted. Under a court-supervised agreement in a separate case, AFT versus the Department of Education, the department committed in October of 25 that it would not report discharges to the IRS as taxable income for borrowers who applied for a new repayment plan by December 31st of 2025. Both plaintiffs were already discharge eligible and did not take the deal. Again, they did not take the deal. In the government's words, plaintiffs, quote, have already forfeited their best opportunity to solve their tax problem for free, end quote. The filing also argues, without the tax claims, the case is about roughly $55 per month across two plaintiffs, which would be about $1,320 total before repay-style plans sunset under the One Big Beautiful Bill Act in July of 28 And the department states it will refund any overpayments if the borrowers ultimately win. The Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals already ruled in February of 25 that Repay's forgiveness provisions suffer the same legal defect as Save, so a court cannot order the department to bring Repay back. The 11-day window in early 26, when the Save rule was technically enforceable, created no permanent rights because the Eighth Circuit's reversal applies retroactively. The department concedes it does not know how the IRS would classify a discharge if borrowers were switched back to Repay in 2026. The tax question at the center of the case remains genuinely unsettled. And the borrowers themselves are hedging. They also moved to intervene in the Missouri case in the Eighth Circuit, which the government says proves this suit is a collateral attack on another court's ruling. So, all right. All that said, let's connect the dots for you. As we reported when the borrowers filed for emergency relief in June, prior borrower lawsuits over Save and Repay, all of them have failed. And this case was the last pending suit before forced plan switches actually begin. This filing shows the government believes it can win on standing and timing without a court ever weighing whether ending Save 2 years before Congress's 28 deadline was fair. So for borrowers weighing what staying put has already cost, our analysis found Save forbearance has cost the average borrower about $3,500 in added student loan balances and lost forgiveness progress. Look, a hearing is expected in the coming weeks, okay? If the judge denies the injunction, Save borrowers should expect their 90-day switch notices to keep arriving in batches, and they should compare income-based repayment, IBR, against the new RAP plan, Repayment Assistance Plan, before the government chooses for them. Borrowers can apply for RAP online at studentaid.gov right now, and we have amazing calculators. Our RAP calculator can estimate your payments before switching. We also have payment calculators that can compare all the plans so you can pick the best one for your family. It's not hard. Takes just a few minutes. Do it today at thecollegeinvestor.com. If you have any questions, talk to the humans. Don't go to ChatGPT or any of your other things. It can give you misinformation and lead you in the wrong direction. Talk to humans who can lead you right to the right sources. All right? Follow and like and click all the buttons on socials. Just type in the words The College Investor and you'll find us. We'd love to help you. All right, that's our show. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll talk to you again real soon.